Yeah, my bad. The video cut out, but saying about the Aquarius and Virgo spectrum, they don't like to. They have emotions, but they don't want to deal with them like how a fire or a water sign would simmer in the feeling or simmer in the emotion, or a fire sign might let it out just to let it out. Like Virgos like to look like they have everything under control, and Aquarius likes to look like they have everything under control too. So they don't really like like to show that side of them, or they don't really like to show that that spectrum. Like I personally think uh that because every planet has an exaltation, but when it comes, and I know it's the Aquarius video, so I'll do another video about this. I'll get into it later, the exaltations and stuff like that. But for the most part, the Aquarius is they have like they still share that thing with Capricorns too about Saturn, so they don't like to look like they don't have stuff under control. Like they don't like to look like they not competent, cause like in Aquarius it'd be like, well, that's stupid, that's this. They look at a fire sign or a water sign and be like, that's dumb. Why did you do that? Why would you have your outburst? Look, I'm looking away. Why would you have your outburst right then and there? Why would you do that right then and there? And to the fire and water sign, it is smart on the emotional spectrum, so they can let the energy out and move on to more practical matters, because fire signs and water signs like to deal with spirit and emotion before they deal with practical matters. So that way they're not thinking of, well, let's not say thinking, that way they're not feeling about the matters while they doing their day-to-day routines. A earth and an air sign would jump into a day-to-day routine because they feel some type of way. So they like to make sense out of their emotions, and they like to make sense out of their feelings. So that's a that's how that'll rock. But Aquariuses are like lightning. They like electricity with their thought processes. They might not all. That's what they share a lot of similarities with Aries, because Aries might not necessarily think before they act, but Aquarius always thinks before they act. So with dealing with Aquarius, their quirkiness might come off as being more lighthearted than an Aries just doing it just for the sake of doing it. And it might, to an Aries, it might come like when the Aries do it, it comes off as like them being aggressive or them being too like against what's going on. But Aquarius is even trying to bring a new way of doing things, because it's like you got Capricorns, which is the system and implementing step by step processes and ladders, and then you have Aquarius, which is trying to reform that same system. So it's like it ain't nothing wrong with the initial idea of the system. It's just Aquarius comes and like, how do we reinvent it? How do we make it more modern? How do we make it more? How do we put it to the future? So like Aquariuses can come off like they like aliens kind of like, and I'm not saying like alienated, but they like they're they're thinking of future events. They're thinking of the future. They're like Uranus, and both Uranus and actually Saturn for that matter too are far out. They're far away. Like once you hit the Saturn thing and then you go beyond, all those planets are the outer realms. So like they pick up on frequencies and energies that's not locally. It's not like a Gemini that'll be like your friendly neighborhood energy, or it's not like Leo who would try to set the tone and beat it and have everybody follow the tone. It's like, nah, there's other behind the scenes things that goes on, and that's what Aquarius is pick up on. So when it comes to Earth, it trickles down for them. Like they might pretend like they are part of the group because it's still air. Air still knows how to relate. So they might pretend to be like they part of the group, or like pretend they agree with things just for the sake of like smooth sailing. You know what I'm saying? Just for the sake of, okay, well, let's not. I don't want to rock the boat. I'm gonna agree with y'all, so I can still participate in the group, but then I'm gonna go over here and do my own thing too, so that way my individuality is still intact. And like I said, that's what Aquarius is generally like. Everything is a variation, but Aquarius is, that's what they generally do. Like that's why they come off as unpredictable to everybody else, because if you think about it, if you always with the group and you always agreeing to what the group doing and stuff like that, whenever you react and bring out your own personality, it's unpredictable, because Aquarius is still a fixed sign. Aquarius is still fixed, so it'll it'll know how to fixate on a routine and pattern, but it knows how to deviate from that too, but still. So it's like kind of like leaving, like, because the air signs are kind of like ghosts. So it's like Aquarius leaves like a ghost personality, like a ghost personality around a group of people, and then when they to themselves, people still looking at the ghost like that's the Aquarius, and it's just like a projection or a ghost that the Aquarius left the group to look at while they off doing their actual individuality. That's where it's like it's kind of it's like, if you think about like the concept, it's kind of hard, but it's like it's kind of out cold, but it's like that'll like mess people heads up when they like when you like relying on them to be there and they not there. It's like you are not to be there, but you relying on that mentality to still be there. And that's what they got in common with Sagittarius. Is like, instead, like a Sagittarius don't want to be in the cage, so a Sagittarius will keep trying to get out the cage. An Aquarius don't want to be in the cage, but how they move, they'll put you in a cage and then leave the cage. Like, it's weird. Like, it's weird. Like it's weird. Like, they don't, like, they'll put you in the box and then leave the box, and then you be in the box like, what happened? Like, what's up? And then they'll be like, oh no, and I'm over here doing this. It's straight. But then they instead of like a Sag don't want to be trapped, so they dip and they don't want to trap you. And Aquarius don't want to be trapped, but they want to trap you. But they don't want to be in the box. But they keep you in the they keep you in the box. When I say box, I don't mean like a literal box. Like, they'll just keep you in like a thought process until they keep you in one way, and like, this person think like, I got this person thinking like this, so whenever I'm around this person, I'm not gonna really show my all individuality, so I can keep them in a box. And then when I pop up, I can pop in and out as I please. Like, it's weird, but like Aquariuses are humanitarians though, and air signs really do deal with the mental. So Aquariuses are like extremely analytical and intellectual, and then that's what make they like scientists with it, because like, in order to be a scientist, you have to do trial and error. So like, if I try this out and it don't work this way, I can rethink the plan and do this again, and try this and try this and try this and try this. So but yeah, something that Aquariuses can learn from Geminis is to kind of like, and it's not a shot to Geminis, it's not, but it's like, kind of be local. And when I say be local, kind of like don't have a fixation all the time. Like, don't, because Geminis deal with emotions more so than Libras and Aquariuses do. So try to pick up on the fact that other people have emotions. So you leaving these boxes around, and you doing it like, oh, I'm just logically doing it. But if you dealing with like a fire sign doing it, or a water sign doing it, you dealing with they putting emotions into your phantom, into your ghost. So like, you're like a Gemini can teach you, like, just because you logical, that doesn't mean that you can manipulate people emotionally. But even though the Aquarius might not be looking at it like, oh, I'm manipulating you emotionally, they just manipulating the situation to get in and out. Sometimes you can learn from a Gemini to connect with your emotional body, and it doesn't take away from the fact that you have intellect. Sometimes you can connect with, and that's what makes Gemini go with the wind here, there, everywhere, because they know how to connect with people. So it's okay to connect with people's emotions and feel how other people feel, and it's not gonna bring you down all the time. And something that you can learn from Libra is to not be afraid of that, like, balance one-on-one connections. When you one-on-one connection, and then even too balance in general, like when you're dealing with Aquarius, like, it's fixated air, so they'll be fixated on how they see things and how they view things. And when you're dealing with Libra's cardinal energy, so Libra can press forward and see it. That's what makes Libras good at relationships, because they can see, they so cardinal, they can see how they cardinal when it comes to relating, so they can see how other people relate and other people may do things. And Aquarius might have a dope idea and a dope invention and make it, but a Libra will know how to present it better than an Aquarius, because a Libra knows how to connect to people. An Aquarius might be like, oh, you don't get how I'm explaining it, or you don't get how I'm wording it, you stupid. I mean, you stupid. It's not that the person's stupid, it's like they can't relate to it. And when you bring a Libra along, and you have that Libra energy, because Libra is still Venus, Libra is still about connecting and relating, a Libra might know how to sell it better than an Aquarius would. That's it. Like, a Libra might know how to talk it, how to work the room better than the Aquarius. Aquarius do know how to work a room because it's still air, but Aquarius is it because of the intellect, because of the power of the mind. It'll only want to connect to people that, like, are as intelligent. And when I say as intelligent, just on the same wave. So, like, that's another thing they share with Aries. Like, they don't like to explain themselves all the time. They like to just, whoever get it, and whoever don't. And that's how they separate who they should be with and who they should not be with. But a Libra will come along and be like, well, maybe say it like this, or maybe come at them like this, so that way they get it. Because the goal is for the group to understand it, not to create like a hierarchy system. And that's it. But yeah, something they can also learn from Leo is, like, to be more expressive about their emotions, because you can talk logically and do all this other stuff and present this and do this, but if you're not really connecting to how you feel, nobody's going to be able to connect with you. And, like, when you long for somebody to connect with on an emotional level, or a spiritual level, you're not going to get it, because everybody's just going to be, like, I don't want to say intimidated by your intellect, but kind of like irritated by like irritated, like, oh, okay, that's just what it is. Like that's what it is. Like, when you want people to rely on you, people not gonna rely on you because you've been ghosted the whole time. So that's something you can learn from Leo, is just kind of like grounding that spiritual energy, or grounding that like, I don't want to say emotion, because it's still, well, Leos can be emotional, so it's emotion. Yeah, you ground in your emotions, feel your emotions, express your emotions, like, feel your emotion. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. Everything ain't got to be cut and dry all the time. But that's the Aquarius part 2. You know the vibes. Y'all have a good day.